tips on how to...
How do you feel when you look at the camera?
And actually, I feel quite comfortable, but it was interesting to note that the mere fact that you hold a camera, which has nothing to do with how I feel, actually alters my state of being.
Mm. In what way does it alter it?
In what way does it alter it? Well, you know, it's suddenly a backlog of memories about exposure, that other people are going to see you, that you, will it look good, you know, this thing of public speaking, because when the camera comes out, it's a representation of other people seeing you. It's not just, you know, the room suddenly gets bigger, the audience gets bigger. And then performance, I wouldn't say performance anxiety, but I would say a touch of performance excitement, you know, when the cameras come out.
Would you like to tell us something about
who I am and what I do? Well, my name is Anekant. This is an Indian name, a Sanskrit name, I think. And I got it from a teacher, a master in India, and I've used this for the last 30 years. I come from England, and I'm basically a therapist. I started off doing bodywork, working on people's bodies, working with issues, difficulties, pains, things like this, and gradually evolved from that to talking therapies. And the talking therapies that I use are hypnosis, NLP, solution-focused work, clean language. I use a whole range of stuff, and I like to think that I'm not limited by the techniques, that they're just things that I'm trained in, and that a session is a session in its own right. And to call it a hypnosis session or an NLP session would be wrong. I'd like to call it just a session in which we get the best for the person, the client who has come to the session.
How you decided to come to Greece and live here permanently?
Well, I don't live fully permanently. I do move around the globe a bit, but Greece is my home, my base. Well, I had been a teacher in London for 8 or 9 years and needed a change of life. So I had been coming every summer to an Osho center in Lesvos. This is a meditation center, a center where there's therapy, where there's a community of people meditating together. And after a while of teaching, I gave up my teaching job and thought I would spend more time in Greece, connected to this meditation center, because I wanted more of this meditation consciousness in my life. Over the years, I got more and more settled in Lesvos. I got a girlfriend who lives there, and as time goes on, I've become more and more at home in the island of Lesvos.
How can you help a person in a private session?
Interesting question. I'd like to phrase it a bit more in a better way, is how can I help the person to help themselves in a private session? The answer to this could go on for hours, but simply put, people structure their experiences in a certain way. Some life experiences they have are okay, they like them, they're perfectly happy with what they're doing, how they're going about their relationships, how they're going about their work, how they're going about their family. They're happy with this. But there are some experiences that they have which are not going so well for some reason. They don't enjoy the outcome of what they're doing. And this experience will have a certain structure. It will be held together with thoughts, with feelings, with attitudes, with beliefs, and it will have a whole load of inputs and connections and relationships that create the experience again and again and again in their life. In the work that I do with the person is we first of all find out how they create their experience. How are they structuring this? How are they using everything about them to create this experience that they don't like, that they do again and again and again? Once we've found out how the person has structured it, then we can begin to rearrange, reorganize the structure, to take bits apart, to move a bit here, move a bit there, so that actually they get to have an experience that they like rather than an experience they don't like.
What do you see about Greeks? Are they open to communicate and share whatever they want to discuss and be helped?
To a certain extent, Greeks are no different from other people. You know, people organize their lives in much the same way. However, there are strong cultural conditions that happen in different nations. You know, the Italians will have different cultural influences from the Greeks, from the English, and this will all reflect on the way that they live their life. As a tendency, it doesn't make much difference. You know, the system of helping somebody through a difficulty is simply a question of observing how they do it, how they say things, how they think things. And the Greeks are kind of not that much different to other people. They're very good with words. Greeks love words very much, and so often in a session with Greek people it will be how they speak to themselves and how they feel. This would be a bigger input perhaps than the visual input, but this is by no means set. You know, to talk about the Greeks is a very large package, and I deal with individuals really. So,
what exactly is NLP, and how can we use it to help our lives? Could you give us an example?
There are many definitions of NLP, and everybody will have a different take, a different point of view on what NLP is. For me, it's simply how do you work with the wisdom and the intelligence of the unconscious mind to come to harmonize the unconscious and the conscious mind, so that they're no longer fighting each other, that they become friends and they become supportive of each other, so that there isn't a friction in someone between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. This is also brought about by meditation, but in the world of therapy, NLP is very good at harnessing the intelligence, the wisdom of the greater consciousness, and using it to work together with the small frame of our conscious mind, which is simply about how do we survive, how do we get through the day. So to get these two to kind of work as friends is, in my opinion, what NLP is. My opinion will probably differ from other people's opinion, but then this is the way I work. As to how it can help people, or give you an example, very often people will come in to therapy and they will want something, but they can't get it. So you already have two parts here. You have a part of the person that wants to get something and the other part that doesn't want them to have it. And both will have good reasons for doing this. Maybe somebody wants a relationship, but every time they've gone for 20 years without really finding a relationship. somehow their unconscious mind finds a way for them not to get the relationship. So as much as they try, another part works in a way below the surface to stop them from getting it. This requires a lot of energy. This is a lot of life energy, a lot of thought, a lot of turmoil and painful thinking goes into this situation if somebody finds themselves like this. So what we do is we find out what the part that doesn't want them to go into the relationship is worried about. What's its concern that if it does get into a relationship, and in a way it's a simple form of negotiation. It's the process, at a process level, it's a negotiation between the part that wants to be in a relationship and the part that's saying, whoa, hold on, if you get into a relationship, maybe you'll be tied down, maybe you'll lose your freedom, maybe you won't be able to get what you really want to do. So then how do you get these two parts to work together so that you can move into a relationship and both parts can be kind of satisfied? Because when it's like this, the whole being is in dissatisfaction. There's a kind of turmoil or this conflict going on. And when they work together, the person becomes more whole. So for me, the NLP is about somebody becoming a whole person, undivided.
Where can we find you?
Mainly you'll find me during the summer months, that's anywhere between May and September, October, thereabouts, in Lesvos, where I work at Osho Afros. This is the community, the centre there. I give sessions there and run workshops there. And then at other times I travel the world. I go to Germany, to Italy, to India. But for sure, in the summer months, I'm available in Lesvos, Ressos Lesvos, a nice island. And also on Skype. I do Skype sessions if people need. It's always best to see the person first, but Skype sessions work very well. And when I'm not traveling so much, and when I have good internet access, I give Skype sessions. My website is anekantsquick.com.
And would you like to send a message to people that are going to watch our interview?
I don't really know who you are, but I hope that your lives are going well. I hope you're having a good time.
Very good. Okay.
Nobody's talking. And then I would start speaking again, and then I would have another rest. And it would go on and on until the day